Well, a couple of things that come to mind. Number one is at a recent presentation I saw about the market and market stats all over the country as well as here locally. The speaker multiple times would say, "That was then, and this is now," and I think that's very appropriate. And of course, "this is now" was describing the fact that rates are up and property values haven't moderated enough, and so home buyers are finding it more challenging to qualify, or even if they qualify, they just don't want to take on the payment that they're seeing would be necessary to buy. But that said, I think that's become sort of the mindset from a lot of prospective home buyers out there without them really checking into it firsthand and finding out for themselves. And I think we're starting to see more of that. There seems to be a little bit more activity starting to happen with people wanting to get out there and see what's available and get pre-qualified. So I think that's a good thing. I think too, I think what's happened here over the last year or so, and coming out of 2020 and 2021, is particularly for the younger population who may be looking to buy their first home and have been putting that off. I think the last year or so and the changes in the financial markets and the mortgage market, I think should serve as, or I hope it serves as, is a bit of an education. Because I think we got into a point there where in 2020, 2021, a lot of the population, I think, looked at that period of time as if it was sort of normal. Of course, it wasn't normal. We had a pandemic. But as it relates to the real estate market, I think a lot of folks got a sort of a false sense of what the real estate markets are really like. Those 2 years were not normal. I never saw it before those 2 years. I don't know that we'll ever see them again, at least as long as I'm around. So I think overall, home buyers and even sellers, I think can be cautiously optimistic that I think we're through the worst of it. I think the spike in rates is already calming down with a little more price moderation, inventory back to normal. And if we can get to a point where home owners have a little bit more incentive to sell, then I think going forward, everyone who's been looking at the real estate market, thinking about buying, pay attention, because I think we're going to be in a set of circumstances and conditions where there's going to be a lot more opportunities to jump in the game, become a homeowner, and be able to do that comfortably. So I really think we're going to get there pretty quick. I'd say probably in the next, certainly later half into this year and going into next year, I think we'll be kind of back to normal, again, as much as normal can be. Because again, the real estate, housing markets, they never have been like this for long periods of time. Again, you can look at the cycles, you can look at the charts, they're like this. And there may be a little bit overall trend, but it's going to be up and down. Don't panic. Don't get too freaked out about it, because the sun will rise tomorrow and everything's going to be fine. So.